What is up, YouTube adventure family? Today's an awesome day. We're going to do the full review on the F3X Pro by GhostCat. We're going to talk about some specs. We're going to go over the accessories and the components. We're going to do a speed test. We're going to do a hill climb. We're going to do a torque test. We're going to do a brake test. We're going to do it all today, and I want you to come along on a ride with me and see what this bike is all about. You know, before I did the F3 review and I took it through railroad tracks, I took it off-road, I took it up a hill. We did a lot of things on that e-bike. This e-bike has the same motor, it has the same frame, it has the same wheels, it has the same brakes, but it has some things that are different. And I'm gonna start off with the suspension. First off, the front suspension on this bike that really separates it in the price from $21.99 to $25.99. Just the front suspension alone on this bike is well over $500. I think it's close to $600. That's the price difference. But some of the other things that you get on this bike that you do not get on the F3 are the CST tires and the headlight right here. This headlight's a very expensive headlight. I think this headlight alone right here is about $100. And I think these tires alone are an upgrade too. And I think the upgrade, the price difference on the tires would be about $30. So you're getting well worth that $500 upgrade. You're getting a couple hundred more dollars than that. So in my opinion, it is worth it. Is it necessary? No, the F3 is a great bike. You have great suspension. You have great rear suspension on it. You have a front suspension that is adequate, I think, for, you know, on the road, on the highway, things like that, light bumps, some light trail stuff. I think it's more than adequate for that, okay? Let's understand that. But this KKE suspension, if you do plan on taking it off-road more, on the trails more, I think this is absolutely the e-bike to get. And the upgraded headlight as well, when you're off trail and in that darkness and you don't have any street lights, I think those upgrades are more than worth it. And then if you are riding on the road more as well too, these tires right here, the CST tires, I think are a great all-around tire. Are they great off-road? Are they great on dirt trails? They'll get by, but I just think they're better and smoother if you're riding on the road 75–80% of the time. I think it's the right tire to go with. So those are kind of the differences in the upgrades. The things that I've done, I've added a rear rack on here. I found this on Amazon. I'll leave a link below to it. It fits really perfect. It's great. It runs about $106 for that rear rack. I have added some Rock Bros pedals that are the same company as the Rock Bros phone case here, and a Rock Bros lock that I got. And I did add some custom handle grips. The good thing about GhostCat, what they did with this bike as well from the previous F3X Pro model, is that they added some rubber hand grips to it. Now the good thing about that is if you like rubber hand grips, it's great. I've got big hands, so I went with a bigger kind of a grip. But the great thing is them using those motocross type grips on there, I was able to remove them and cut them off easy and pop these on super easy. So that was really cool. They also have added a front fender here that keeps the mud off the front too. That's another thing. But I want to show you kind of the size of this bike. I'm 6'2", 6'3" on a good day, but I'm 6'2" with a 34-inch inseam, and the seat height on this bike is 33 inches. The length on this bike is 65.7 inches, and the width on this bike is 28 inches. Those are just kind of the measurements and the standards, just so you know. But me being 6'2" with a 34-inch inseam, this will give you kind of an idea of what it looks like. And the suspension is just how I left it from the factory. I weigh 170 pounds, so I didn't see any necessity to adjust the suspension at all on this. It just felt good out of the box, and even the front felt good. So, you know, out of the box, this suspension at me, 170, because I think they make it for about 150, 160 anyway, so it's going to be a little bit soft to me, but I think that's right for the riding I'm using, because I do some trail, mostly on the road, but some trail, you know, some dirt roads and things like that I'll be using this bike for. And it's got great suspension. Now, some of the features that I do like on this, it's got a really high ground clearance here. I think we're 14 inches with it not compressed, and then when I'm compressed, I think I'm right about 12 inches, 11 and a half, 12 inches when it was compressed. So it gives me plenty of ground clearance if I want to go on some trails or some light, you know, motocross trails or anything like that. Nothing too crazy, but something where I have to go over a log or a rock or something, that's really cool to have. Now, some of the things, you know, just to get this out of the way, the pedal height, the stroke height on this thing, this is going to be at the highest point here, as you can see how that is. This is going to be right smack dab in the middle, and then that's the lower point there. So you get an idea of the pedal stroke, just how it is. You know, it's going to be high. My knees are going to be high on it. This bike is not necessarily made for pedaling. It's got a lot of torque, a lot of power. It's super nimble. It's got a short wheelbase. It packs a lot of power. This bike is a beast of a bike. And this pedal stroke right here for Generation X guys, you're going to understand it's like a BMX pedal stroke. So when we had, back in the day when we had our Redlines, our GTs, our Haros, our Vectors, our Diamondbacks, all those type of bikes is going to kind of, you know, remind you of a BMX style stroke. It's not a mountain bike stroke. It's not a road bike stroke by any means. This bike is not intended to be built or made or used that way. So saying all that, this is the GhostCat F3X Pro 2025 model with the upgraded KKE suspension. And now I'm going to show you some of the parts and some of the components and give you some of the specs before we take this bike out on the ride. So starting off with the big elephant in the room, that's the motor on this thing. This is the Zofo 1500 watt 52 volt motor, and it peaks out at 2080 watts. Now, the torque on this thing is impressive, 140 newton meters of torque. That is a lot of torque. That is a ton of torque. I mean, it's amazing. While we're down here, it's the Shimano Altus shifter and derailleur. Now, I've zip tied the rear foot pegs. It does have rear foot pegs. I've zip tied these up just so they're not falling down or whatever. It's got a nice mud guard in the rear. This keeps it from messing with the rear suspension. Now, moving on to the suspension here, the suspension is totally adjustable. If you want to adjust it, get you a suspension pump, and you could adjust the front and the rear suspension on this e-bike. Now, that's really cool. So if you got a little bit more weight to you, you know, you're over 160, 170, you know, whatever, and you want a stiffer suspension, maybe that's something to do. Speaking of suspension, this KKE suspension is awesome. There are the front forks, looking really good with a triple clamp lock system, and it's super secure and super awesome and super plush, just super awesome suspension. That suspension is basically the type suspension that you see on Talarias and the Surons and all the E-Ride Pros. So it's just super overdoing its suspension, which is really great because with a bike with this kind of speed, hitting a bump, the suspension's really nice to have. This is the headlight. I really, really, really love this headlight. This is Star Union. It is a really, really well-known brand. It's all over the internet. And, you know, some of the bigger end companies, some of the, you know, the e-motorbike companies, the e-motocross bike companies are using these type of headlights just because they're so bright, especially in the wooded areas, like I was saying, where there's no street lights or other car lights or business lights or anything around the area. Having an upgraded headlight is huge. Moving on to the battery here. This is a 52 volt, 20 amp hour battery. Now, they did get a certification, a UL certification on this battery. There is a little code on it. You could bleep that up and see the certification. They went through the process. Those are Samsung cells in there, and that is a killer battery. I had the same battery on the GhostCat F3, zero issues. Zero issues. And what I like about this battery too, it does have a USB port, so you could charge your phone or something or whatever, your speaker. Now the brakes. These are 4-piston hydraulic brakes, and basically it's mineral oil. It's baby oil. If you know what baby oil is, if you had babies. These brakes are super awesome. They are 4-piston caliper brakes. The rotors are 203 millimeters. Super awesome. Just a beautiful freaking bike. Now the tires, these CST tires I'm actually enjoying them, and they're actually getting a little bit better grip in the snow than I thought. That's what's wild. Now, they're not the super knobby type tires, but they got enough traction that I'd say they'd be like considered a car snow tire. Now, if it's snowy and icy where you live, you probably need to go with studded tires anyway. But if you want to get some knobby tires, they're all over Amazon and eBay. They're super, super inexpensive. You could probably contact GhostCat too and see if they have any of those shark skins in stock. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Now, you know, of course, I added this back rack. It's super awesome. I've added these pedals just to get a little bit more grip. I've added these grips just for my big fat hands. Super awesome. This is just the shifter right here. This is Shimano shifter. This basic comes with every e-bike in the world. This e-bike has a really cool tail light. You can see there's from the back end. The controller is a 40 amp controller, giving you all that power and torque. Then we're going to turn on this bike. I'm going to show you the display real quick. Power's right on. Super easy. You can see I do have over 50 miles. I've got almost 60 actually. But check this out. You can go to pedal assist 1, pedal assist 2, pedal assist 3, pedal assist 4, pedal assist 5. Now I have unlocked this bike. All right, unlocking this bike is super, super easy. You just go in the controls, the password's 2024. And I didn't tell you that. All right. Anyways, that's the GhostCat F3X Pro 2025 model with the upgraded KKE suspension on this bad boy. Is this the e-bike you need? Is the F3 enough? You know, if you're not doing a lot of heavy trail riding, I think the F3 is more than enough. If you want a little bit more suspension, maybe carrying a passenger, maybe carrying some cargo on that cargo rack, maybe you need a little bit more push in the tush. Now coming out, we all know this, that's the F4X Pro. That's 60 volts, 25 amp hour battery, 60 amp controller, 2200 watt motor with metal geared and nylon hub gears. There's some upgrades on that bike too. It's going to give you a lot more power, and I think it's 160 Newton meters of torque. Some more power, more things going on with that. So consider that too. I'll be getting that bike in about a month, and we'll do a review on that. But for right now is the F3X Pro by GhostCat, the e-bike for you. Let's take a ride and find out. Let's go. All right, what is up, everybody? We are on the F3X Pro by GhostCat, and we're just buzzing around. I got it pedal assist 5, and it's figured just hit it 5 and stay alive. I got the Insta 360 X4 hooked up too. Let's go up here and let's just start off with giving it some beans and do a speed test and see what we can get this baby up to. I'm gonna probably take a Louie here, go down that way. That way we can hopefully get some speed going. Yeah, we're getting ready to get another snowstorm through, so go ahead and get this review is really just kind of huge, honestly. Figured it'd be a good time to get going and jet. Let's turn around up here. The cop shop. See if there's any police officers around. There's not, so that's good. We're gonna let some of this traffic go by here. And then we'll get a little speed test and see what we can get going up and around. We'll do a speed test. We'll do a brake test. And we'll do a suspension test and a hill climb test. We'll just do some shit, man. All right, let's go, let's go. We're in pedal assist 5 and let's buzz on through here and see what we can get. We're at 30. 31, 32. I've got the GPS here too, so we can get an adequate rating. 33, 34. We got 35. We got 36, 35. Giving it all the beans. I'm not pedaling at all. There we go. It's a long stretch. We got to 35. That's what I'm gonna clock it in. I've had it up to 36 before, but keeping it 35 and holding steady at 34, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. And I'm 170, keep that in mind. Whatever that's worth. That was cool. Feel this right here. That's where we're gonna do a suspension test. We're just gonna see how this bike handles some bumpy terrain. Zip on through here real quick. See how this feels. It is gorgeous out. Oh man, oh man. Whew. Muddy, muddy, muddy. See, this is the stuff I do for you all. All right. Let's do some suspension here. Oh God, this is going to be something else. Y'all appreciate this. This is not for the weak-hearted, that is for sure. All right, we're gonna go through some bumpy terrain. This is like what would be, I guess, a really, realistic suspension test on a really bumpy, gravelly road. There's some mud, there's some really hard tracks, there's some big rocks, there's some small rocks, there's just loose dirt, there's gravel, there's just all kinds of things right here. And I got the 360, right here as well. And hopefully to give you a good view, and I won't lose my camera at the same time. Those things are expensive. You don't give me those things for free. All right, here we go on the suspension test. Let's give you an idea of kind of the travel and everything that's involved. I've got the camera, the 360 actually attached to the upper frame. So it should give you an idea of how the lower swing arm and suspension work on the F3X Pro by GhostCat. Let's go. And I'm gonna go about 10, 50 miles an hour through here. Oh, you get an idea. All right, we're gonna go through some bumpier terrain, and then I'm gonna hit a big pothole. There we go. It's very bumpy, oh yeah. See, you get an idea through how it kind of rides. We go through some mud here. All right, we got it's a regular kind of a road here, a little bit of gravel and dirt on here. And I'm gonna go hit a pothole at about 20 miles an hour, just to give you an idea. And hopefully I won't lose the doggone camera in the process. All right. Make sure no traffic's coming through there. All right, here we go. 15, 16, 20, 22. We're gonna go a little bit faster here, and here we go. There's a couple bumps there at a pretty good speed. Hopefully that'll give you an idea of how that was. Let's pull on over here. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty doggone cool. I'm gonna do a brake test now. Let's see how this thing stopped. Whew. Pretty cool. Let some of this traffic go by. Let's see if we can get up to about, I don't know, maybe 20, 25 miles an hour. Let's brake test. Slam them on. See how that goes. Oh. Alright, here we go. We're at 13, 15, 19. Go to this bump here. Alright, here we go. 22, 25. Alright, brake test. Oh, nice. The brakes on these GhostCats are really, really nice. I will admit they are super freaking nice. This bike is super nimble, as you can see as I'm going around the driver ed course here. This thing is just super nimble and you can just basically just turn on a dime. And I mean, it's just a lot of freaking fun to ride. And I think that's the big advantage of this bike is the power, the quickness, just things, man, just things. What a cool freaking e-bike. Let's see what kind of speed we can get going this way. This road's pretty flat, but I mean, even when it's flat, there's always going to be some kind of a hill. So let's see what we get through here. 33, 34. Yeah, man. I think 35 is going to top it out with my weight on this bike today, boys and girls. That is freaking awesome. And we'll confirm everything with the GPS when we're done, too, just to confirm. See what the actual speed was. But zipping on through, man, it's just a great bike. You can actually, you know, hit the road. You can hit the neighborhood. And it keep you up with the traffic if you got to get on the road. The good thing is, too, is it give you that suspension like right there on that pothole. It'll give you the braking power to stop at those high speeds, which is huge. It's not lie, that's gigantic. I'm actually going to head on over here and just get in the bike lane. Speed this thing up. This thing is just a ton of fun. Oh yeah, I'm gonna act like I'm pedaling a little bit. Yeah, I'm pedaling at over 30. I mean, whatever that's worth, I guess. This is super cool bike. It's just the most versatile bike. Super powerful, super comfortable. And I mean, look at that, just highway speeds, man. Freaking highway speeds, dude. Freaking highway speeds on this monster. So it's going to give you the power, it's going to give you the speed, and it's going to give you enough range to where, I mean, you could literally go, if you held this bike at 20 miles per hour, for example, you could literally get up into the, you know, the 40-mile range on this bike, in my opinion. You know, the website says 52, and my experience is with these bikes, you really get about an amp hour of just full beans. So at 20 amp hour, you get about 20 miles of full beans. You know, so if you're going to pedal, go 20 miles per hour and cut a lot of that torque and a lot of that speed down, you're probably looking at close to about 40 miles or so. Depending on your weight, too, you know, it's the factor as well. Super cool. Some good food. That's Volcano Sushi there. And then there's some Honduran food up here that is super yummy. And there's a couple e-bike shops here. It's Mountain Peddler there. And then up here we have Pedal Power. Our friend John owns that. And if you need any bike stuff in the Eagle Valley area, check out Pedal Power. We're gonna go up Whiskey Hill, roundabout, for a real nice little hill climb on the F3X Pro by GhostCat and see how it performs going up a long, windy, steep hill after we've ridden this thing a little bit. But that's going to be where the real test is. I don't think, you know, you can do the speed test, I think, with full beans and stuff like that, but you want to get the speed test without all the beans. You want to get a hill climb without all the beans, because that's going to be your reality of, like, you know, on your way back home or from work, or your way back home from hanging out with the boys, or whatever it is. Sneaking over to the girlfriend's house late at night. Whatever, I did a lot of that last year. Not so much now. There's the mystery machine at Route 6. And another good thing, when you're getting on the bike path like this, you've got these pedals, which make it super nice. Take a little look-see over the retainer wall here. See what the water's looking like, because it's almost time to renew the fishing license. And you know what that means? That means it's almost trout season. That water down there, gorgeous. Zip on through here. And get ready to go up Whiskey Hill. Whew. A freaking awesome, awesome day. It is getting ready to blow in a damn winter storm, as you can see. The clouds are rolling in from the west, and we're supposed to get some snow, which I'm excited about. It's just a super awesome all-around bike. I really can't think of who this bike isn't for because of all the modes you can change. Now, if you're into pedaling and into the exercise, or you like a more traditional style bike frame setup, then you know, this bike probably isn't for you. This bike is super, super light. Coming in at a big whopping 85 pounds, I believe it is. I imagine with me adding that rack or whatever, might have added a couple of ounces at most, but nothing major, that's for sure. Let's say 85 pounds. It's just super light, nimble scoot. Oh, I just absolutely freaking love this thing. Zing on through here. See how this is. Ooh, look at that. Ah, here we go. 22, 23, we're 23 miles an hour on a hill climb. This is a pretty freaking steep, long hill, too. We've been absolutely just annihilating this thing. We're about 1,600 watts is what we're using. So, keep that in mind. We're still not using the full 2,000 watts. Let's zip on through here. Wow, we're at 22, 23, 24. We got up to 24. See if we can get up to 25 going up the hill climb. 24, 25, 24.6, 24.9. It says 24 on the little gauge there. So we're going above the speed limit on the hill climb up Whiskey Hill. So there's that. Nice, nice. We're still at 55 volts. We've went about 6 or 7 miles on this little review too. So give us a guesstimate of, you know, pretty much going full beans on this thing on the mileage. And if we go that far and still have that kind of mileage, you're probably looking at about 20 to 25 miles just full throttle on the range. That's really decent. Hey, baby girl. It's Ellie Mae's best friend. She's got several best friends. That's one of them. Alright, we're getting in through the home stretch here of Whiskey Hill. On the hill climb here. Let's come to the end here and we'll wrap this up. So cool. What a great e-bike, man. It gives you just everything you want. It's so comfortable, it's so powerful, and it's so agile. It's the GhostCat F3X Pro, boys and girls. It's more than enough. It gives me more than I want, more than I need. Gotta be careful on that gravelly road putting on these brakes though. And I slam them. Oh man. Absolutely freaking awesome. Freaking cool, huh? Take out the phone here. Get some accurate readings. Let's see what we actually got on the GhostCat. Let's see here. So it looks like 35 miles per hour is our top speed. And it looks like, as far as distance here, well, I didn't have it on the whole time. We went about 6.5, 7 miles as I turned it off accidentally, whoops. But you get an idea there. Not too shabby. And that's the GhostCat F3X Pro. What a killer bike. I think this bike is basically for anybody and everybody. Unless you're into pedaling, then you can get you a pedal bike. But if you're into getting everywhere, going everywhere, doing everything, this is the bike for you. And it's like the Guitar Hero of e-bikes. It's for everybody. And you could put it at whatever speed and whatever torque you want to if you're scared of that much power. And if this bike is a little too expensive for you at $25.99, you could get the F3, which is great too. And the only thing it lacks is the front suspension, really. And if you're riding on the road, I think it's great for you. And it's got more aggressive tires, so you get a little bit more traction with that bike at $21.99. And then coming out next month, and you could pre-order this, and you better order it before the 1st. Otherwise, the price is going to go back up to $29.99. That's the F4X Pro by GhostCat at $27.99. Use my discount code, Colorado, and save 50 bucks on all these e-bikes by GhostCat. It'll help me, it'll help the channel, but most of all, it'll help you. If you like this video, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, leave a comment. What e-bike do you like? What e-bike do you love? I'd love to know, what e-bike are you riding? Whatever it is, whatever you like, get on an e-bike. Enjoy it, get outside. I don't care what e-bike you like, this is the e-bike I like. This is the reviews that I'm doing. But whatever you do, get out and ride. Until our next adventure, this is Chris from the Colorado Adventure Channel. Peace.